You are listening to Proof Text, a Glossa House podcast exploring scripture with Dr. T. Michael W. Halcomb and Dr. Fredrick J. Long. Welcome and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Proof Text. I'm Michael Halcomb. I'm here with Fred Long, and we're continuing to discuss grammar points. We've been talking a lot about verbs, and hey, we got a lot of ground left to cover. We're only just, dipping into it right now. So we, in the previous 6 episodes, we've been talking about tenses, and Fred wanted to give us sort of a bonus tense episode. So, Fred, where you want to take us?
Well, when students learn the indicative verbs, they're learned typically in according to 6 principal parts, and these principal parts roughly correspond to tenses, but they're basically were formed by grammarians because any particular verb could show a stem change, moving from one principal part formation to another, and so regular verbs don't have those changes. So luo, I loose, is typically used as a verb because it's stable. It never changes its stem going from one tense and principal part formation to another principal part formation. I use the verb pistevo because it's a cool verb I trust and it's stable. So pistevo is the paradigm verb that I've used. So let's talk about the 6 principal part. It houses the future passive and the aorist passive. Now, there's some dispute whether these are actually a proper voice, because people will say, well, this voice and formation really is just a carryover of the middle voice. But nevertheless, beginning students will continue to learn this probably for a while, the 6 principal part as future passive and aorist passive. What's distinctive about these formations is the presence in the ending of a theta and eta. Yeah. For the future, you add a sigma, which is what you see in the future formations is a sigma. And so the future passive is theta, eta, sigma, plus the endings ome, e, eta, ometha, este, ante. So you have these really long endings. Together is thes, ome, these, thesete, thesametha, theseste, thesonte. Those are long endings, and sometimes you have a verb stem of like 2 letters, and then you have this huge ending on it. So these stand out because of the theta, eta, sigma. The aorist passive has an augment on the front, then you have the verb stem, and then it uses theta, eta endings using the secondary active endings. So altogether, the endings are thane, thes, the, themen, theta, theta, thesan. And so how do you translate these? Well, the future passive would be he will be healed. The aorist passive would be he was healed. Simple past, but then put into the passive voice. So yeah, that's the 6 principal part. Theta, eta is characteristic of their endings. The future has a sigma added to that. The aorist doesn't. Aorist has an augment added on the front. And so that rounds out the 6 principal parts in the indicative mood.
All right. Well, appreciate that, Fred. And for those of you watching or listening, we hope that helps.
Interested in growing your ancient language skills but not sure where to start? Glossa House can help. From illustrated readers and short stories to lexicons and grammars, Glossa House offers a variety of resources for beginning, intermediate, and experienced ancient language learners. Head to glossahouse.com today. Glossa House, language resources for the global community.